Hello everyone. So now we are starting with current issues, and I'm starting with one of the easiest topic in our current issues, which can be completed with a short span of 10 to 15 minutes. So let us begin. And this is somewhat a topic which is very similar to our basic knowledge. Okay, it means we can answer the questions without basic knowledge. So I'm just starting it off. Cyber risk. Okay, we know that nowadays hackers are really trying hard to hack the system of banks, to hack the system of financial institution. The two main reasons when they are hacking, either to make the fraud of money, or they have another thing to do, that is to get the data of the bank and then sell those personal data of the bank at the very high cost. So hackers are trying to fraud the money, okay, so that they can have millions of dollars, billions of dollars from the banking system. Or the second thing is that the data, which is a very important thing, which is an important asset for all the financial institutions, because it contains the private information about their customers. Clear? Now read the name of the topic: cyber risk and the US financial system. Means the focus will be completely on the US financial system, and we are analyzing it. Premodern means, what is the meaning of this premodern? Means analyzing the things before it take place. So what is premodern? It is basically a strategy. This is basically a managerial strategy in which a project team imagines that a project or organization has failed. Means it has not really failed, but yes, I am assuming that it failed, and then work backward to determine what potentially could lead to the failure of the project or organization. Try to understand, it's a future thinking. Means right now I am standing, but I am assuming that my system got hacked. Now what I am trying to do? Now I am trying to find out the reason, what makes the hackers to hack the system, so that I can give a control over there, and even I can ensure that even if it got hacked, I won't lose, I won't stop the operations. My business will keep on going, my customers will not feel any kind of difficulties, my data is safe. So everything need to be ensured that yes, that my operations are in continuation, my data is safe, my customers are able to do their transaction, as well as there is no problem with respect to liquidity and solvency. Clear? So we got the meaning that what this chapter aim for. This chapter aim for future thinking. What if this will take place now? How I can protect myself? What I can do to protect myself? Clear? Now this chapter is focusing basically on the three key points. Okay, if I divide the chapter, it is divided into the three key points. One is the specific aspect of the cyber attacks. Means if any hackers will hack my system, what is the potential impact of it on my operations? There will be a direct cost as well as there will be an indirect cost. Now indirect cost, you can relate it with the reputational loss. Clear? We will study about the direct cost definitely, but there is both indirect cost as well as direct cost. Second, possible large scale effect. Try to understand or try to theme it out. If I have my bank in SDFC, okay, my account is in SDFC, and SDFC is storing the data at one particular place. They have the data at one particular place. Suppose there is a data. Now hackers will hack that particular area where the SDFC bank have stored the data. Now all the branches of the SDFC bank, whether it's in India or whether it's abroad, using that particular database means I will approach the bank being a customer, and my bank is in India, but I am residing outside India, say China. Now what happen if I visit the bank? I want to know my bank balance. What they will do? They will log in the system. They will log into the database which is situated at one particular place. From there they will get my balance. Now what if the hackers will hack that particular system? It is not going to impact only one area, one particular branch, rather it is going to impact the whole banking of SDFC. It is going to impact the whole banking of SDFC. Now not only SDFC, all other banks who are connecting with SDFC to transfer the payment, all other banks who are connecting with SDFC to transfer the payment, their business will also get stopped. Their business will also get stopped. Now we need to find a way to ensure that I will keep my data in some different places. I will keep my data some other different places, so that if one place got hacked, at the same moment I can transfer my connection to the second server rather than completely dependent upon the first server. If second server also got hacked, I need to have another replacement, server 3, so that in case if my server 1, server 2 are not working, I can use server 3. What is server? Where my data is actually stored, and from there I am directing that data to my screen. Clear? So I need to ensure that I have huge amount of storage capacity, different storage places. If one got affected, my business should not got affected. Business should keep on going. Clear? Point number 3 is about some innovations. Okay, we need to come out with some policies. We need to come out with some technical innovations where I can try to protect myself from the cyber attacks, because at the end of the day you cannot stop hackers from hacking, but you can create the firewalls, you can create the system so strong that it is going to be very difficult for the hackers to hack. You can have encryption, okay, as well as there are many other features which you can put to your system, so that you can at least try to protect yourself from any kind of hackers attack. Now we have 3 particular LOS which we need to cover in this topic. One is, what are the direct cost for the spillovers caused by the cyber attacks. If there is a cyber attacks, what is going to be the direct cost for me being a financial institution? Second, how cyber shocks can get amplified through financial networks. The same thing which I explained you. It's a financial network, whole dependent upon one single server, and if that server got hacked, my whole financial network system got impacted. And the last one is, what I can do, what I can innovate to protect myself. Let us start with our LOS 1, which is about the direct cost because of the cyber attack. First of all, you have the confidential information of your clients. Some data which is very sensitive, so if that was at stake, this can be very costly, as well as there is huge amount of fines and penalties imposed by the regulators, that if you cannot protect the data, you have to pay such and such fine. Clear? So first is, the bank include the losses. They have to bear the loss because of the breach of the confidential data. It's your responsibility to make the system strong, and if you are not capable enough to make the system strong, it is your fault and you have to pay the penalty for it. Second, the bank would also likely incur reputational loss. Now this reputational loss is an indirect cost. Means, if suppose I will give you an example, my account is in SDFC bank, and in case I got to know about some in the last 15 days there are many breaches of accounts, there are many frauds going inside the banking system, immediately I will shift from the SDFC bank to some other bank. Why? Because I do not have now trust on SDFC bank. I do not trust the systems of SDFC bank. Clear? Additionally, from the availability perspective, possible impairment of the banking computer system and access to its data have both direct and reputational cost. Now again, second important thing, if hackers will disrupt your business, and I being the customer of SDFC bank, I need to trade with I need to transfer money to one of my clients, but I am unable to do so. Why? Because the activities of the SDFC bank got disrupted because of the cyber attack. So there is a reputational loss as well as there is a business loss for the bank. From an integrity of the data perspective, there is a direct cost involved in the restoration of the data. Someone hacked the systems of the SDFC bank. Now they need to repair it, need to restore everything. This will take huge amount of time. this will take huge amount of cost. So this is my point number 4. Point number 5. There could be additional spillover cost if the integrity event reduces the bank ability to perform key tasks and if it promotes greater uncertainty as to the bank's ability to resume normal operation. Okay, the 4th and 5th point are similar to each other, that in case it will take huge amount of time to start the operations again. Suppose it will take 3 days time, means the business of the HDFC bank got stopped, okay, got disrupted for 3 days period. So can you see, means most of the customer will shift from the HDFC bank to another bank and the restoration will cost such a huge amount. So this is going to be one of the difficult thing. Next, point number 6 is important. It can happen that the hackers will create a situation in which banking system will feel like that there is a huge amount of liquidity need. Might be the customers, okay, hackers make such a kind of system where customers are requesting more and more withdrawals. Means if you are HDFC bank and there are hundreds of customers who are putting the request to withdraw the money from the bank. Now bank needs such a huge amount of money, bank needs liquidity. Now if they do not have that much amount of liquidity, what they will do? They will have to sell their liquid asset into the market, and the selling of the liquid asset into the market will be without any planning. So it can even cost them, it can provide them huge amount of losses. So liquidity is again a risk when it comes to the cyber attacks. Clear? There can be some possible capital requirements as well. So the solvency will also be the case. Solvency can also be the case. Let us see, cyber events have the potential to remain undetected for the longer period of time, which increases their damage potential. Now this point is very important. What happens is that if hackers is trying to hack the system of HDFC bank, and hackers will start from scratch, they will make small hacking. Okay, now what if HDFC bank do not have the enough audit facilities going on regarding their IT system? So means cybers are trying from a longer period of time and it is not yet discovered by the HDFC bank. So in that scenario, what will happen? Smaller losses will accumulate bigger, and when it is remain undisclosed for the longer period of time, then it can hack the system of other banking system as well. Try to understand, if I am HDFC bank, hackers are trying to hack my system. Now I can inform ICICI bank, I can inform Axis bank, I can inform Bank of America that see my systems are getting hacked, try to protect yourself. So if I discover these things, other bank remain protected, but if I don't disclose it, others are also at stake. Clear? So these are the 7 points we need to cover for the LOS 1. Now LOS 2, explain how cyber shocks can get amplified through the financial networks. So interbank lending and payment in the form of virus carried through share. What happened is that my HDFC bank system got hacked, okay, and being a cyber attacker, suppose I am the cyber attacker, I will put some virus into the system, and if someone will start transferring the money from HDFC bank to ICICI bank, what will happen? The same virus will get transmitted to ICICI bank, person from ICICI bank transfer it from Axis bank. So means what? The whole networking chain I am disrupting. I am disrupting the whole networking chain of the banks. Clear? Sometimes what happens is that when I am focusing on the single network, or you can say single server, it can really amplify the risk, because if I have the data stored at one place and if it got disrupted, what will I do next? The things will end for me. Clear? And this can lead to the huge amount of systematic risk. The negative impact of the cyber shock may be reduced by ensuring that redundancy backup always exists within the financial with the. Now how I can reduce the impact of cyber attacks? By having the backups, so that I can reinstall the backup in the smaller period of time. Now coming to our last portion, that is what we can do to protect ourselves. Means what are the innovations, what are the things we can add on, what are the policies we can add to ensure that I can protect my systems. Clear? First of all, cyber event that impair network availability or integrity would likely benefit from supplementary response, including a break to provide additional time to recover from the event. It would also be helpful for liquidity and reserve requirement to be waived in the short term should the bank be unable to deal with the violation. Now, the first point is discussing few important keywords. First of all, if there are some breach, okay, if there are some cyber attacks, first of all, we need to provide some flexibility with respect to liquidity requirements, solvency ratios, as well as we need to give them enough time so that they can restore their business operations, clear? So time is the most important thing, as well as we need to ensure that we will not pose any liquidity or solvency requirement at that moment, because their main aim at present is to secure their system, to restart their system. So don't force them to maintain the liquidity and solvency ratio at that point of time, clear? Second is about the backup facility, means the focus should be on the backup, clear? Now, if you have the backup facility available, having the assurance that the backup is protected from the cyber attacks. Now, you have, this is your system, this is your backup, this is my system, this is my backup. My system got attacked, I can use the backup, but I need to ensure one more thing, that my backup is also safe. In case my backup is not safe, this can really cause lots of problems, clear? Establishing regulatory requirement to disclose seemingly harmless cyber event that would benefit others. That point again, if my system got hacked, I need to disclose it so that ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Bank of America, HSBC Bank, they all will become alert. They will start working on their systems to protect themselves, clear? Now, all banks should come together to discuss, okay, to share the information, to share the knowledge how to protect the banking system from the cyber attacks. Means when everyone will come together, it will become a strong position for all the banks, because they all are sharing their knowledge, sharing their experience, sharing their important codes to ensure that the data is safe, the business will not disrupt because of cyber attacks, clear? Now you can read these 3 points and the topic is over, and it will hardly take 20 minutes for you to cover this particular topic. So just read, I will share this particular PDF with you so that you can read it and you can complete it at the fastest possible, okay? I'll be updating more lectures on current issues as soon as possible. Thank you.